What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and welcome back to another episode of the Morning After Show. Finally, Tottenham got their second Premier League win of 2021. Still undefeated in 2021, seeing as the year does end in one. So happy days, really.
Yeah, look, it was a good win yesterday. I was really happy with the response from the performance in midweek, or the result really in midweek, not so much the performance. But I was happy we started on the front foot. We went to win the game early. We got the second goal in the first half. And we kept going for more. And I know even though it was against the bottom side Sheffield United, we still had to get the win over the line. It was never going to be an easy game. And I think we made it look easier than it was.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, first half, I thought we played really well. Ndombele really was balling around all over the pitch. Good. He was a real box-to-box midfielder yesterday, you know, defending at the back, starting attacks, finishing attacks, you know what I mean? Let's talk about that goal. I mean, we can fill up this whole show
literally
talking about that goal.
What a goal. It's one of the great goals you'll see this season. I don't know, I've seen it 100 times. I still don't know how he gets it in the back of the net from the angle he's at. Let me see if I can get it up on the picture. I showed it yesterday on the stream, but I'll get it up again just so you can see. Here, look at that angle again. How did he do that?
The sheer audacity of Ndombele yesterday. Seriously.
Look at it. He's like facing away from goal. How is he hooking that into the far corner? I mean, it's an absolute incredible strike. I honestly, from this position, that's just like nigh on impossible. There's also a defender there as well, right on his arse.
The thing is about that goal, if it goes an inch to the right, it's hitting the post. If it goes an inch to the left, the keeper might be getting that. You know, he has to get it at that specific...
It's inch perfect.
It's inch perfect, exactly.
And on the outside of his boot as well. I mean, it's an astounding, outrageous goal by Ndombele.
How good can Ndombele be?
I think he can be one of the best Premier League midfielders in the league.
How
in Europe, maybe.
In Europe,
because I think he's got so much quality, so much ability. I don't even think we scratched the surface of what he can actually do on the pitch in terms of being an effective, consistent midfielder over 90 minutes. And I think we're just starting to see it at the moment. But I think honestly, the way he dribbles, the way he passes, the way he holds off people, his strength, his ability to win the ball back as well, his tackling. I mean, there's not many Premier League midfielders in Europe who have that ability that he has, and his only big problem that we had with him was his fitness.
Yeah.
And now he's starting to get that. Now he's played 90 minutes on the weekend. You know, he's starting to get more and more minutes. He's playing 70, 80 minutes now most games, and I think he really is becoming one of the shining lights in this Tottenham team. Everyone says, "Oh, where would you be?" You know, obviously without Son and Kane, you'll be average, blah blah blah. But everyone leaves out Ndombele how good he's been this season. No one talks about him, and I think he should be in the conversation for being one of our best players this season.
In terms of our creativity from the centre of midfield, where would we be this season without Ndombele?
Nowhere. Imagine relying on Højbjerg and Sissoko for creativity. You know, without Ndombele, we wouldn't be anywhere near as effective as we have been in possession, especially when we've been on the counter-attack, or, you know, when we've had to make the most of our possession. Ndombele's been a massive factor in that, because he never let it waste possession. Well, he does sometimes when he's tired, but he always looks forward. Mm-hmm. He doesn't waste a moment. He doesn't like to play it back when there's an opportunity.
Always looking to progress the ball.
Exactly, in between the lines. He's not looking for an easy pass either. He's always looking for a difficult pass to start setting up attacks, start moving the ball quickly. And it's a joy to watch. He's such an exciting player. Every time he gets the ball, you feel like something's going to happen. And you start to sit up.
And even though he was still playing those progressive passes yesterday and really creative passes behind the lines and what have you, I felt that yesterday he did keep it a bit more simpler than he usually does.
I agree.
And him simplifying his game and still hurting the opposition, I mean, we've got a proper player on our hands here. We really do.
Yeah. Because sometimes he's been a bit guilty of overcomplicating things, but I think yesterday he didn't do that. I think yesterday he, by and large, apart from obviously the goal, he kept it fairly simple. The goal was anything but simple, but he did keep it fairly simple in terms of not over-dribbling, not always looking to beat his man, looking to just get the ball forward quickly and move around and create angles. And that was also, as Mourinho says, sometimes the genius is in simplicity sometimes. And I think that was a case for Ndombele's overall performance, but his goal was obviously an absolute outrageous moment of genius.
Yeah, and you say the goal was anything but simple, but that's pretty much the only thing he could have done to get it in the back of the net from that position.
Yeah. I
Literally
mean,
the only thing.
and he somehow pulled it off. I still don't know how he did it. I mean, it's simply unreal how he managed to hook the ball into the net from that position, and completely catching all the Sheffield United players completely off guard. And it's a sensational strike, and one that's going to live long in the memory.
100%. I just want to let you all guys know we got 200, just over 200 people watching. So scroll down, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and we'll get into the newspaper articles, the newspaper headlines now.
Also, one thing I just want to say as well, if you want to tag us on social media, anything on Twitter, anything on Instagram, we will be reacting to the social media content surrounding this game from yesterday and this morning. Obviously, I've got a few things lined up. If there's anything that you want us to react to, or if you have any opinions or anything that you want us to react to live on the show, tag us on social media and we'll be reacting to it.
Yeah. And also let us know where you guys are watching from. I love seeing all four corners of the world pop up in our comment section. So let us know where you're watching from. And also just show some love to Tanguy Ndombele in the comments, because he absolutely deserves it for that performance yesterday. And he is getting better and better, Tanguy Ndombele. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's see where people are watching from. Netherlands, India, Greece, Australia, England,
Brighton,
Aberdeen. The Aberdeen Yids are
Russia.
here.
Russia.
Thailand. Wow, really are. Four corners of the world today. UK, Wales, Essex. Well, a lot of people in Essex today. Dublin, India, Indonesia, Liverpool. Who's watching from Liverpool? Are they spying for us for next week? Kenya, South UAE,
Cameroon.
South Africa, Iran, Cameroon. Wow, really is. Well, look, let's start getting into it. Let's start off with the Daily Telegraph. And let's see what we have here today. The problem is that because it was the Man U Liverpool game yesterday, it's kind of overshadowed anything else in football. So apparently nothing else is relevant.
Well, match of the day, the Spurs game was first.
Oh, I didn't see match.
Yeah, it was first listed, the Spurs game. Actually, Liverpool United game was last on match of the day.
Well, yeah, I think that they must have done that on purpose to keep people watching till the end, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
maybe.
But that Man U Liverpool game was boring yesterday.
Yeah, it was. It was 0-0, wasn't it?
All right, so they've got a picture of Tanguy Ndombele, and the headline is "Players flout rules with celebrations before test results."
That's the headline. That's what they got.
See what I mean? Like, here's the proper Spurs. Now we're talking. This is the headline. Genius Ndombele strike earns Mourinho praise, but Wilder finds it brutal.
Finds what brutal? Just the
I'm guessing the result and the...
Well, it was well deserved. I think.
It was well deserved.
Yeah, we deserved the win, and now it's good for Ndombele to find, getting recognition now from the outlets, because before his whenever you hear about Ndombele, it's always like struggling player or player, big money signing with big weight on his shoulders. But I'm happy now. People are talking about his performances.
There you go. That's the headline from the Spurs game. It's got a really interesting stat here, actually.
Go on.
3 defeats for Tottenham in their past 30 matches in all competitions. A run that features 19 victories.
Yeah. Obviously those 3 defeats come against Antwerp, Leicester and Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, how many games of those Europa League? Probably
quite a few, yeah.
But, I don't think anyone's saying... I guess, but you go in the league, we've only won 2 in the last 7, so that's the big letdown, isn't it?
Let's stay positive.
But then again, we haven't lost too many of those. We lost a couple, but 2 of the draws.
We're drawing way too many.
The draws is what costing us.
And it's a bit similar to the early days, not the early days, but the Poch, where we used to draw way too many games.
Yeah. And under peak Pochettino and last season at White Hart Lane, I remember that first half of the season, we drew so many games. We drew that
was always our downfall.
That's what cost us at the end of the season, because obviously when we're chasing the pack, we're always behind, because the first half of the season, we're always drawing way too many games and chucking away points that we should have had. And it seems like a similar story at the moment this season. Even if just 2 of those games that we've drawn, pretty much all the draws we've had the points in the palm of our hands and we've given it up. And that's the most frustrating thing. But hopefully we can make up for it somehow in the second half of the season.
This is actually un-Spurs related, but I actually want to read out these stats because they're quite disgusting. It's
disgusting.
Yeah, they're talking about Mesut Ozil. Obviously, he's on the verge of signing for Fenerbahce. And they've just got a few numbers here of cost of Ozil's contract since signing his new deal since in 2018. So, total wages since signing his contract, 53.9 million.
He's been paid 53 million since signing his contract.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
No, it can't be right.
Total wages since signing his 350k a week Gil contract, 53.9 million. How disgusting is that? How disgusting.
That is awful.
Premier League appearances since last coming on in March the 7th, 2020 against West Ham. Premier League appearances, 48. Earnings per Premier League appearance, 1.1 million. He's earned 1.1 million per game he's played since signing that contract.
That's a joke.
Six goals scored, 5 assists in that time. Earning listen to this. Earning per goal and assist, 4.9 million. Is that not a disgrace?
Unbelievable. That is a disgrace. That is an absolute disgrace. Oh my God, Mesut. But that just shows you, like, you know, when you have these kind of... Because I remember it was a weird situation at the time, because when they gave him the contract, because they had both Sanchez and Ozil at the time, both looking to leave.
They had to pick between the two.
They kind of had to pick between the two to kind of give him a new contract, and they picked Ozil, but they picked Ozil only because literally at the time he was on good form, but he wasn't exactly having a great season.
Yeah.
But only because he literally had like 3 or 4 games where he was really good, playing for the contract, and they gave it to him on the back of that, and then he went back to the old Ozil, which he was before signing that contract. So you got to be careful when you're thinking about who you're giving a contract to, and especially their age and everything. And I think that they've might have made the same mistake twice
with Willian. Aubameyang.
Well, 3 times then. That's the thing. Well, I think Spurs are quite careful to who we give contracts to and who we give pay rises to, but clearly Arsenal aren't as careful as we are. And I think it's costing them big time. They're giving big contracts to players just who are, you know, in their mid-30s or early 30s, and that's always going to be a risky proposition. You have to make sure you're 100% sure that this is going to be the right thing for the club, and it's not working at the moment for them. And it's costing them big money. Big money.
Yeah. Do you reckon we're kind of being stung by that with the Gareth Bale stuff at the moment, or is it too early to tell?
I think the Gareth Bale stuff is different because it's only a 1-year loan at the moment. So it's not. We haven't given him a 3-year contract, have we? So I don't think that's the same situation. Like Willian, they gave him a 3-year contract and he's 35 on 200 grand a week.
Everyone at the time said that was disgraceful. Anyway, this show is not about Arsenal. Let's carry on with the Spurs stuff. Shall we react to some Twitter? Because I see a lot of tweets coming through.
Yeah, let's see who's people tagging us in Twitter.
It's not on the screen.
All right. People see in the comments saying there was a problem with the audio, but it looks like it's fixed. Oh, right. Apologies about that. Campbell Clark, Ndombele better than Pogba?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I think, is Ndombele better than Pogba? I think in terms of ability, I think they're very similar.
I think Ndombele's got a higher ceiling than Pogba.
If you're looking at attributes, I think Ndombele is a better dribbler and he's more press resistant. I would say in terms of passing and stuff, I think like long range passing and things like that and long range shooting, I think Pogba wins on that. I think being incisive in and around the penalty area or through balls, I think Ndombele is better at that. It's a tough one. It's a tough call for me.
I think right now when you look at it, as a number 8, I would say right now probably Pogba just edges it for me. As a number 10, I think Tanguy Ndombele is actually better. I think he's better in those short spaces and better at those quick, incisive passes and cutting through behind the lines. But I think Pogba is probably better and more established as number 8 for me.
I think also defensively, I think I might actually prefer Ndombele in a weird way. Maybe, despite the fact that Pogba can probably last longer on the pitch, I think Ndombele has definitely got more bite in the challenge and he moves around a lot more. And Pogba kind of just does it when he wants. And I think that's the mentality difference that Mourinho's got into Ndombele, because I felt like last season that's probably what he was doing. And it's interesting to see how Ndombele's reacted to Mourinho to how Pogba reacted to Mourinho. Two very different, you can never get the best out of Pogba or what he's getting out of Ndombele.
It always seems to be a clash of egos there.
Yeah, exactly.
Man United.
And I think Ndombele's reacted in a different way. He's working for the team more than Pogba did. And it's just two different ways of reacting to Mourinho's style of management.
You got to remember as well, how old's Pogba? He's much older than Ndombele now.
He's probably 28 now.
That's what I'm saying.
5
So
years
how
older.
old's Tongi? 23?
23, 24. Yeah, so 24.
So there's a good gap in between there. So I mean, you got to think about it. Where do you think Tongi will be in 4 years? Do you think he'll be kind of at that level? I think he'll be better than that level in 4 years' time.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, I think so. Because Pogba, you got to say, over the past, literally, it's now been 3 or 4 years now, he's just been a bit inconsistent, hasn't he? And I think Ndombele this season showing that he can be consistent when if he really tries and turns up each game, he can be very consistent.
I don't think anyone's doubting Pogba's ability and what he can do on a football pitch. It's just about how often he does it on a football pitch.
Yeah,
right now he's on good form.
I would say ability-wise, they're fairly similar level, but in terms of consistency, I think Ndombele is actually higher than him.
There are things that Ndombele can do that there's nowhere Pogba can get nowhere near what he can do, like with the stuff with his agility and kind of.
I agree with that, but I would argue the same the other way.
With Pogba, I still think Pogba's shooting is better and Pogba's long range passing is better, but I still think Tongi's long range passing is still up there.
I don't know. We don't see too much long range passing.
We still see his like kind of through balls from deep kind of thing.
Yeah, that's through balls and on the floor. I'm talking about balls over the top and stuff like that.
Lofted.
Yeah, long range. It's just his range of passing. I thought Pogba has a bigger range of passing than Ndombele. I think, but Ndombele still got. But what Ndombele is good at in his passing, I think he's probably better than Pogba. He's like quick interchanging and through balls and stuff. I think he actually beats Pogba at that. Another tweet here from Taz Malarios. Says, let's not get carried away, lads. We've only beaten a team with less points than a hexagon. But but it's good to get back to winning ways. Look, it's hard. It's important not to get too overexcited with being bottom of the league, Sheffield United, who have lost most of their games. It's true. But I think it's important to see the performance, see how comfortable we made it. And, scoring goals against Sheffield United is never easy. They're a solid team who don't give away usually many chances, and usually it's very close games with them. So to score 3 goals and to create as many chances as we did, I think is a credit to us, I think. And although they're bottom of the league, it was still important to get the win.
Yeah, look, obviously we shouldn't get carried away with this. Maybe we'll get carried away if we beat Liverpool on Thursday week. But I think that it's just an important 3 points at the end of the day, and we talk about it like it's any other win. And we just assess what happened on that football pitch, and we're happy with what happened on that football pitch. And yeah, I don't think anyone's getting carried away with beating Sheffield United. It's just great to get back to winning ways, like you said.
Charlie THFC, he says, what are your thoughts on the 3-4-3 formation? I think it made us look a lot more fluid and really got the best out of the wing backs, and particularly in Ndombele in the pivot with Højbjerg. Could we see 3-4-3 more going forward?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I mean, we've seen it against teams that kind of play that formation, and we try and go and match them. I know against Wolves they didn't actually play that formation, but we thought we did. I thought Jose maybe had it in his mind that he was going to play that formation. So I think we've seen it so far against teams where we kind of match them up. I'm struggling to see if we're actually going to see it like moving forward. I would like to see it tried though. I would, because I think it was really used well yesterday, and Reguilon really seems to be benefiting from it.
I would say the fullbacks yesterday definitely benefited. However, I would also say that against Fulham, we didn't play 3-4-3, and the fullbacks were also very much involved. True. And created lots of chances. True. And it was just unfortunate that we didn't finish those chances because the fullbacks were really involved. I did feel like they had a bit more protection against Sheffield United and could go forward and not have to rush back like they did when you got 4 at the back. And I also think, Ndombele and Højbjerg have struck up a really good partnership in the centre, and I think they could both take their turns to go forward, knowing that we have 3 centre-backs at the back covering positions, especially with Joe Rodon mopping up a lot of the mistakes. And I felt like when we attack, in a weird way, we attack with with the fullbacks, we have a bit more width and the inside forwards as well, because we have those fullbacks so high up. We have two inside forwards in Bergwijn and Kane up front. When we have the 4-2-3-1, obviously you've got the double pivot sitting deep, and then you've actually only got a lot of the time you've only got the four attacking players, and the width sometimes isn't there as consistently as it is with the 3-4-3. So I think it's something maybe we could try against Liverpool as well. I wouldn't mind seeing it more going forward. And I think it was a good performance yesterday with it, and I look forward to seeing more of that. And I've also felt like defensively, maybe with Joe having another body in the back three, we could deal with crosses more effectively. Even though we conceded again from another cross, I felt like with Joe Rodon there, we're more comfortable from crosses.
Let's go have a look at The Guardian now. And the title is Ndombele calms Tottenham's nerves with moment of magic. Now, obviously, Tongi Ndombele, this absolute moment of magic, like it says there. Can you see it?
There you go, yeah. Calms nerves. Yeah, because we had a bit of nerves when we conceded.
That's what I'm saying. So, obviously, against Fulham, they get that goal. We don't have a moment of magic after that, but it's only a 1-goal lead. This time it's a 2-goal lead. Sheffield United get a goal back in the same ridiculous way as we conceded against Fulham. If Tongi doesn't get that goal, do you think we go on and score a goal, or do you think it's really back to the wall job nervy for the rest of the game?
I think that we would have scored. Again, even without that moment of magic from Tongi, because I think you saw as soon as we conceded, we had that intent to go kill the game off again. Straight from kickoff, actually, we had a chance to put Son through on goal. Actually, Ndombele could have done better with that chance, because he could have played Son in a lot earlier. He delayed his pass, delayed, and when he did play it...
Wait, you talking about Kane or Ndombele?
Ndombele, because when he did play the pass, the Sheffield United player was able to slide in and just nick the ball. But I think we showed intent after conceding that we were going to look for that third goal. And whether we would have got it or not, obviously we don't really know. But I think we definitely would have tried, and I think there would have been a good chance that we would have scored. So I don't think Ndombele's goal was definitely. Sorry, I don't think Ndombele's goal was definitely saved us, but I think obviously it was a moment of genius that settled the nerves straight up, because we scored so quickly after conceding.
Yeah, but obviously I guess we'll never know. What do you think about? I know we speak a lot about Steven Bergwijn. Do you really think he's cemented that right wing spot for his own now?
Yes, I do. I think he's the number one option there. I think he's the best option there at the moment. I think he provides more than any other option that we have. And I think that he helps the team, and he improves the team performance. I think he helps out defensively. He links up well with the attack. The only thing missing is a real contribution in terms of goals and assists. He did get an assist yesterday with a really good lofted through ball to Ndombele. He forced a couple of saves out of Ramsdale as well. So I think those things are coming with him. It's just a matter of getting that first goal. And it's just a matter of once he does that, I think that he will start to flow a bit more consistently for him. But it's just getting that first one over the line for the season. But I think I think he's playing well. I think he's played well for the last few games, and as long as he's getting those positions, for me, if he keeps doing that, the goals will come.
All right, let's have a look at this. It's the Daily Express's Premier League Team of the Weekend. The Premier League Team of the Weekend. How many Spurs players do you reckon you've got on Team of the Weekend?
I would put Ndombele there.
Yeah.
I would put Kane there. And I would put... That's maybe Team of the Weekend. And that's probably it.
Yeah, that is it.
Nice.
The Team of the Weekend is Kasper Schmeichel in goal, John Stones, Lewis Dunk, Ogbonna and Chilwell at the back, Ndombele, Mason Mount, Thiago in the middle, with Pereira, Kane and Maddison up top. Let's see what the headlines are for the Spurs game. 1 second, guys.
We got a tweet here, actually, if we
Go
can.
on.
Might as well look at it while you're getting the headline up there. Here's an interesting question. Would peak Aaron Lennon start for Tottenham right now?
Would peak Aaron Lennon start for Tottenham? Would Aaron Lennon do the defensive work, though?
Yeah, he used to be great at that bit. I remember. He used
Did
to be
he?
really, he used to be really good at that. That people used to say that was his biggest asset, how hard he used to work for the team and track back.
I think he does. I think he does get in the team.
I agree. I think a peak Aaron Lennon right now. Although he wasn't blessed with goals and assists, he was still probably getting them more regularly than Bergwijn, Moura, and Bale at the moment. So
yeah, I mean, Lennon actually scored in big games.
Yeah, it's true. He had a lot of big goals in big games.
I remember off the top of my head the Chelsea goal, the Arsenal goal in the 4-4, the Chelsea one in the 2-1. He scored another one against Arsenal when we won 2-0 or 2-1 at the Lane.
2-1 at the
So he scored some big goals for us, Aaron Lennon. Little Aaron Lennon.
And on the right-hand side as well, that's perfect for him.
Yeah.
And I think on the counter, he would be perfect as well. Imagine how rapid he would be on the counter, him, Son and Kane.
I also thought Lennon was very underrated because a lot of people, mainly fans of our rival fans, would always put these rubbish wingers ahead of him in terms of ability. Like, who do you think was better, Walcott or Lennon?
Lennon, I think.
See, Arsenal fans or random Premier League fans will put Walcott there 100% any time of the day. And that's only because of his goal output.
Yeah, Walcott scored more goals, but Lennon was definitely a much more effective winger and much more involved in the game.
I thought so. And Gareth, not Gareth Bell, Adebayor once said this funny quote about Lennon and Bale because he was playing up front. He had Bale on the left of him, Lennon on the right of him, and he goes, "Yeah, Gareth Bale, he runs way too fast, and I can't really keep up with him much of the time. But Aaron Lennon, he gets it on the deck and just puts it in my feet, and I put it in the goal." So I mean, he much preferred playing with Aaron Lennon apparently than Gareth Bale.
True. Let me see.
He had a mad relationship with veteran Chorluka there on that right-hand side.
Really good.
I loved that
and
partnership.
Chimbonda when Chimbonda was there as well. He was developing very good partnerships. Do you reckon he could do a good one with Aurier?
Probably.
In his prime?
I don't see why not.
I wouldn't mind a prime Aaron Lennon. I felt like he never really properly fulfilled his potential though, Lennon. I think he could have been a lot better than he was.
I agree.
But unfortunately, it just is what it is with him. But I thought he was a great player. So go on. What's this paper saying?
Guy with the magic touch lifts Spurs. Ndombele eases the nerves.
Tanguy. Okay.
So that's the headline from what's this paper? The Daily Express.
Guy with the magic touch lifts Spurs. I think he's
It's all about Tungy today.
Okay, here's one, which I saw. Which goal was better, Tongi's goal against Sheffield United, or Glenn Hoddle's against Watford?
Ooh.
That famous chip.
I think Glenn Hoddle.
I want to know in the comments.
I think Glenn Hoddle.
Let me know in the comments below what goal was better. Was it Tongi's against Sheffield United or Glenn Hoddle's against Watford? If you know what I'm talking about.
I think Glenn Hoddle's. Just for that lovely turn just before he chips it.
Oh, quickly, Toby E, thank you. Welcome to Silver. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the
What do you think?
scheme.
Are you going to go for Tongi? I've got a feeling you're going to go for Tongi.
I think Tongi's was harder.
I think the finish was harder, but I think the whole move, when you look at it, Glenn Hoddle, that turn to get past that defender was
and then
just...
to chip it into the back post. But I think Tongi's, I think Glenn Hoddle, obviously he does a little trick, really nice trick, and then instinctive chip into the back post. But I think the finish from Glenn Hoddle's is more achievable than Tongi's was. When to do it with the outside of his right foot with two defenders next to him on the half volley, while he's falling over as well. I mean, I think that's harder. I honestly think that's a harder finish.
We've got a comment here saying Tungi's was more in hope, while Glenn knew it was going in.
That's probably true. I can probably get on board with that. I think Glenn Hoddle's finish was a lot more measured and he knew exactly where it was going, whereas Tongi probably just hooked it in. He was going for goal, but he probably just hooked it in a direction where he thought the far post was, and it ended up going in. I thought so. In that sense, maybe Glenn Hoddle's was a better goal, but I think Tongi's was harder.
What do you make out of this comment from Jose Mourinho yesterday? So it says, top players, they don't make excuses about the system, the position, the way the team plays. Top players play in every team, in every system, with every coach. When sometimes I hear player X is not playing well because of the way the team plays, that's not our way, that is bullshit.
I can understand what he's saying. I'm wondering if he's aiming at a few
Dele Alli
or Pogba or both.
Pogba.
Yeah, Pogba, Dele Alli, probably more. Yeah, maybe Dele. Because what people say, Dele doesn't fit in the Jose system.
And we've all been saying that as fans.
What in the well, he did fit though right at the beginning, didn't he? Although he was playing quite well, and then I don't know, it started to go wrong.
But right at the beginning, at the beginning, we weren't in a Jose system though.
Yeah, I guess. But I think a lot of people say that about Pogba a lot. Oh, he doesn't play well because he's in this position or that position or this and that. And I kind of agree with Joe. I think to an extent I agree. I think there are some players where, they need to be in the right system to really flourish. But I think majority of the time, yes, it's just an excuse for a player who's off form.
And he went on to talk about Tongi, and he was just like, he started going off on one. He was like, yes, Tongi can play any position, left back, right back. He started talking about left back and right back. Did you hear what he was talking about in the press conference yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
It was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, he said like, obviously if Tongi was to play right back or left back, it'll be difficult for him, but he can still do it. But as a midfielder, he's nearly perfect, he said, for what we need. And he said he's developing into a good one of the near perfect midfielder, and also he's got great qualities as a number 10 as well. So it gives him options. So it's really good stuff. But in terms of players playing out of position and stuff like that, and what they need to do for the team, I think I agree with Jose. It's way too many times I've seen an excuse being made for a lot of players because they're not in the right position. They need to be in this position. For example, a big one is for me is Timo Werner, which people make an excuse. Oh, he has to be playing down the centre. He can't play down the left, even though he plays down the left all the time for Leipzig and was great there. But people say, oh, he can't play down the left. He's a central striker. This isn't a position. No. He's very good in both those positions. If you can't get him playing well in either that position, that's down to you. You can't keep saying
it's also down to him.
Down to him. Sorry. I agree with that, and down to him. But I'm saying it's not because Chelsea fans are just obsessed with him playing down the centre because down the left he hasn't been getting the goals. So I'm telling you right now, you put him down the centre, the same problem is going to be happening because he can play both left and right, left and centre. He's very good in both those positions. So it's nothing to do with his position. And I agree with Jose. The 95% of the times when a player isn't performing well, it's up to the player. It's the player's responsibility to up his performance and not up to the manager to get him motivated all the time. There's only so much a manager can do. You can put your message forward, but it's up to the player to internalise it and change his ways on the pitch. And that's what I'm saying about Dele when I say that he's not getting the game time. I think there must be more to it than just Jose treating him harshly for harsh's sake.
Yeah, I got a comment here from Ariane. Morning, guys. How are you? We're great, thanks. Morning after a nice 3 points. And he says, first time I'm up this late to catch this in the USA. So welcome, Ariane. Welcome.
Come on, Ariane. Let's see this.
Just before you go on, I just wanted to talk about, mention a comment about Timo Werner that I mentioned to you the other day. But I promise you, I see shades of Roberto Soldado in Timo Werner right now. I genuinely believe that, and I think Timo Werner is doing everything right up until the 6-yard box, up until that finish. Mm-hmm. And he just can't seem to hit a barn door. And in my personal opinion, that is exactly the problem Soldado had at Tottenham.
Yeah, Soldado had a big problem with that, but I feel like I see what you mean.
I think Timo Werner is a better version of it. Don't get me wrong. I think Timo Werner is playing better than Soldado did at Tottenham, and he's a better player than Soldado is. But I think they're having the same problem, a similar problem.
Yeah, and Soldado never got over it. But Soldado had a big problem with this. He talked about it a lot since he left Spurs, that he had a massive problem with his confidence. His confidence was completely shot once he came to Spurs, and obviously under one of the 7 signings, and it didn't click, and we were playing really badly, and we weren't creating chances for him, and I think he just came at the wrong time.
We were creating chances for him, though, because he missed so many chances.
He missed chances, but no, I actually don't think we did create that many chances for him.
How many sitters did he miss?
Yeah, if you get a compilation over a 2-year period, there's probably a lot of sitters. But even if he puts all those sitters away, he probably doesn't actually end up with that good of a goal tally. Maybe. I don't actually think he missed that. He actually missed that many. He didn't get so many chances at Tottenham.
Can you say the same for Werner? If he puts away all his chances,
yeah, he's on a very good goal tally. I think Werner it's only a matter of time for me till he clicks, and even if he doesn't click under Lampard, he'll click under another manager because he's too good. I think he will be really good.
But it's not Frank Lampard's fault that he's missing these sitters.
No, it's not.
And he's getting in the right positions. He's making the right runs. He's making good passes as well. He's just not finishing the ball.
Yeah. And he was such a clinical finish. Well, I say he was a clinical finisher under Leipzig. I actually don't think he was, because he used to also miss a lot of chances for Leipzig.
But he scored a lot as well.
But he scored a lot because he was getting more chances. It was a bit like Salah, how Salah used to be. When Salah, before he joined Liverpool, he used to be very similar to Werner. Like he used to get a lot of chances and score one of them, and wasn't clinical. But since he moved to Liverpool, he's been a lot more clinical.
I want to know from Ariane in the comments whose fault it was for the goal last night. Was it Davis or Dyer?
I know who he's going to say. Let's look at this tweet, which Spurs Express have tweeted out. Much to the hilarity of everyone. For some reason they've tweeted out, but why not? Check it out. It's comparing Kane to Aubameyang this season.
All right.
Just appearances 18 to 16 in Kane's favour. Kane has 12 goals, 11 assists.
Mate, why are they comparing Kane to Aubameyang? Why not compare Ndombele to Aubameyang? They've got same goals.
Yeah, saying that. I also saw that as well. Where is that? I saw that. That was on my liked tweets. Where is it? I liked a few tweets to keep, so I have them. Where is that tweet? Here, is it that one? No, it wasn't that one. Anyway, yeah, it's true. Ndombele and Aubameyang both have the same amount of open play goals this season. And they have the same tool as well.
I think so, yeah. I think they've both got 3 Premier League goals.
What do we think of this, though? Gareth Bale has started 2 games in the past 11 months. One for Madrid and one for Tottenham.
I mean, the Gareth Bale situation is annoying me a bit at the moment. It really is. I mean, I just want to... It's the nostalgia, I think, that's really doing it. Because I think if it was just a new player that we signed, Gareth Bale, it wouldn't bother me too much. Because maybe he doesn't deserve to play. But we all know the quality that he used to have and probably still does. I just would like to see a position alteration with him.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't play him on the right wing. I think at the moment, I don't think he's especially start him on the right wing anyway. I don't think he's up to that kind of role anymore. But I definitely think he's got a lot of quality. It's just about how we fit that into the team, and I think there is a place for him. I just wonder I think maybe, as we've said before, centrally I think might be a better option.
See, there's nothing about Spurs in this whole sports page. Nothing. See, Man City, Liverpool, and then nothing.
What paper is this?
This is the Star, the Daily Star. You know what I mean? It's absolutely nothing. It's ridiculous.
How can that be?
You can have another look at that, because I can't seem to find anything to do with Spurs in that paper.
It's not possible. You can't just
have disrespect from some of these papers. Because I was in the shop this morning looking through the papers, seeing if anyone's written about Spurs, and a lot of them didn't. A lot of them
just
didn't.
Not right at all about Tottenham. Is this game not happen? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. It's like the game didn't happen. It's like we didn't play yesterday. There's a four-page spread on 0-0 United Liverpool. There's an article about a preview of Arsenal City. There's a 2-page spread on City, and apparently Spurs didn't even play yesterday.
You know, there's not one paper did like player ratings on Spurs yesterday. Not one.
There's nothing here. Unbelievable. Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
This is the last paper I've got. This is the Independent.
Boycott the Star. What was that? The Star. Boycott the Star.
Boycott the Star. This one that says, "Refound brilliance of Ndombele is a winning bonus for Jose Mourinho." I mean, every headline is about Tanguy Ndombele.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Completely deservedly so. Let me just show you that one.
There you go.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, we can wax lyrical about Tanguy Ndombele all day, can't we, Sim?
Honestly, he completely deserves it. But also, Harry Kane had a very good game, I thought, yesterday. He also scored a really nice goal, and yet again, showing in that position, dropping a bit deeper, really hard to pick up, and it proved dividends again yesterday, scoring from outside the box and a really nice finish.
But he is a classic example of what Jose Mourinho was talking about. Good players can play in any position, in any system, and Harry Kane can do exactly that.
Yeah, exactly. And he's, people. There's few people who said Harry Kane would struggle under Jose Mourinho.
Paul Merson.
And they couldn't have been more wrong. They couldn't have been more wrong.
Bloody Merson.
You see what Harry Redknapp put on his Instagram today.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Getting the band back together.
Absolutely amazing. There's a picture of Redknapp, Defoe, Crouch and Cranshaw in those four guys who've been going everywhere for some reason. I don't even know why. But that's very class from Harry Redknapp. I hope one day they all get back together. I can't think of how, but I hope one day.
Maybe on the
happens.
coaching staff, I don't know.
Maybe for the Masters, you never know. Okay, I've got a few tweets here as well.
Go on, let's go through the tweets.
Dwarka Krishna says, honestly, how many times have you watched the Ndombele goal?
I promise you, I was watching it on repeat yesterday, non-stop repeat. I promise. What a goal! I actually want to watch it again right now.
Special goal. It really was. Yeah, honestly.
Is that our best goal of the season so far? It's
Yeah,
much better than Son's goal, isn't it? In terms of ability. Son against Arsenal.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Because those two are probably, you say, our best two goals so far this season.
Agreed. I think Son against Arsenal, although that was also a special goal, I think Ndombele's was just outrageous. Just completely outrageous attempt. Had no right to score from there.
No right whatsoever.
JJ says, we scored 72 goals in 30 matches. We are second behind City with the most chances created. Enough with the defensive myth media agenda. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that it's a difficult one because...
Do you think it's just Mourinho's
perception?
Yeah, the perception of him and his that's clouding a lot of people's judgment.
I think in some games you could argue that we have been a bit too defensive. You look at the games against West Brom and you look at the games against Brighton, maybe I think it was. You know, around that period after that West Ham game when Jose really put the shackles on the team for a few games. But I think that now, since that Fulham game, since this game now, just Sheffield United game, I think we're starting to find a better balance out of it all, because before that West Ham game, we were like going gung-ho on teams. Man United 6-1, who was it? Southampton 5-2. And then that new West Ham game when we go 3-0 up early and then concede 3 goals. And then Jose was like, that's not happening ever again. And then he put the shackles on. But I think now we're starting to find that bit of a balance now.
Yeah, I agree. And I think people have a perception of Mourinho and it influences their opinions when looking at the football games. Because I think a lot of the time, a lot of teams also have periods in games where they sit back and soak up pressure and where they're being dominated. Yeah, but when it comes to Mourinho, everyone just says, oh, this is Mourinho football, it's just boring, look at him just sitting back all the time. But I think every team has periods where they have to sit back, and I think we definitely have periods where we dominate the ball as well. We have periods where we're attacking, we do seem to create chances. It doesn't matter how we create them, we find a way to create chances, and I think that's due to good organisation and good attacking play. And I think it's important to be defensively solid, and I think it's important to restrict the opposition of chances, and I think we're quite good at both.
If you're defensively solid, that lays the foundations for the whole rest of your side. Yeah. And look at Manchester City this year. Like, they've been quietly going on about their business week after week, week after week. They haven't conceded a goal since we've scored against them.
Yeah.
And that's built, and they're not scoring that many goals, Man City. I know they scored 4 goals yesterday, but before that they're scoring 1 or 2 a game. So you're not saying that they're playing this free-flowing, attacking football, goal after goal, like you associate with a Man City team. They've built the bases on now it's John Stones, Laporte, and Diaz. So they've really built a foundation at the back, and that's probably why you would say they're favourites to go on and win the title now.
At the moment,
not because they're attacking play, because of their defensive play.
Yeah, because they've built that foundation. And I think it's important that we have that as well. And I think we're still in the process of building it. I think we've got a good base where we don't concede a lot of chances, and it's just come down to headers and individual mistakes. But once we can iron those out, I think we have a very, very solid defence. And from open play, we're really solid. We're probably the best in the league at the moment from being able to control a team when they're trying to build attacks. I think we're one of the best in the league.
Do you think better than Man City? Because Man City are doing that really well at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll level with Man City, but they've conceded more from open play than we have. But I think Man City also they're really strong. But I think we do it in different ways. Man City do it by just sheer control of possession and control of the football, and not letting the opposition have it. And then the little possession the opposition do have, they just press really intensely and just snuff out possession. We do it in a different way where we don't mind if the opposition have possession. We just are able to cut out the passing lanes, and we're able to stop their build-up in a restrictive way, which is good. But so there's two different ways of doing it. Obviously, the Man City way is easier on the eye, but I think we're just as effective.
Yeah, I agree. Shall we go have a look at some more tweets?
Campbell Clark says Aurier better than Trent.
Aurier better than Trent.
I think actually he has been better than Trent this season, to be fair.
I would say, look, there's night and day between their delivery.
Yeah,
You've got to say that.
You got to say that.
Absolute night and day between their delivery. Trent is probably the best delivery in the Premier League from any player. Never mind just a right back.
Well, Reece James also has a...
Yeah, but I would still say Trent's delivery is better than Reece James. In terms of a defender, I would actually say Aurier is a better defender than Trent.
In a weird way.
Yeah, I don't fancy Trent as a defender. I think he's more suited to be a right winger than a wing back.
I disagree with that because I don't think if he was a right winger he would be able to manoeuvre, get in positions or be afforded the amount of space that he gets to kind of get that delivery, because as a right winger you need to kind of manoeuvre your own space.
Or maybe I said it wrong. Maybe he's more suited to a wing back than a right back.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because as a wing back you still get the space and you don't need to, be dribbling all the time or trying to get past the player. But I think a right winger, it's definitely a lot harder. Obviously, I'd pick Trent over Aurier though.
Do you not think Trent is so overrated though?
Do I think Trent's overrated?
I was listening to Talk Sport the other day and someone said he's the best right back in Premier League history. I can't remember who it was. Remember we were listening to it on the way home one day and they called him the best right back. How could you be the best right back in Premier League history if you can't defend?
Because if your delivery's that good, then it can make up for it.
But still, come on. If you got to be able to defend. You've got to be able... The other day, he was playing for Liverpool. He gave the ball away more times than anyone else in the league this season. You can't be the best right back in Premier League history for that. Premier League history, Sim.
Well, I don't think the Premier League is blessed with amazing right backs. To be honest, like Gary Neville's probably the best. You know what I mean? And he was good. He was never like the best in Europe or anything.
Let's ask everyone in the comments, who do you think the best right back is in Premier League history? Because I'm seeing some people saying Trent, some people saying Gary Neville.
I think Walker's probably better than him, to be honest.
Right now, or just in history?
In history. I think Walker was a better right back than him.
A lot of comments for Gary Neville. Chorluka. Gary Neville's Carl Norton. Now, it looks as though everyone thinks it's Gary Neville.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. The conversation is it Gary Neville? Is it Carl Walker? But then who else? Who's there? Who else is in the conversation? There aren't many amazing right backs.
True.
From Premier League
history. Who was the right back in that Chelsea team 2004?
It's just a solid right back. To fill a void. Even under in United when they won 3 Premier League titles in a row, it was like Wes Brown or Raphael. They won exactly unbelievable.
Zabaleta, on form Man City Zabaleta.
Zabaleta, he's probably in the conversation. Who was it for Arsenal? Lauren, he was good, but is he the best ever? Kyle Walker for Spurs, I think, and City's in the
Dennis
conversation.
Owen, Man United.
Wasn't he a left back?
Oh, that's true. He was a left back.
Valencia, no, I wouldn't say him. Maurizio Tarico. See, there aren't many, so I think Trent is probably in the conversation.
Prime Zabaleta.
Yeah, Zabaleta, I think, is also in the conversation. I think he was pretty good. He was really solid, both going forward and at the back as well. I did really like him.
TPN Flash says Owen could also play right back.
Ivanovic, good, but he was good. But is he better than Trent?
Azpilicueta.
Azpilicueta is also very good. I like Azpilicueta. I do like Azpilicueta, but he's never been that great as a right back. He's always been better as a left back. He was always at his best.
I actually think you're right. I think Kyle Walker has a big shout for that. I do think so. You've got to say he's probably the most expensive right back, that's for sure, in Premier League history. What about Stevie Carr?
No, best prime right back.
Stevie Carr, come on.
If he stayed fit, maybe. I've got some more.
But Walker, I'm going to go with Kyle Walker. The most athletic, defensively sound. Or he's got defensively sound as his career went on. Attacking sound. I mean, he's good in every kind of area of the pitch, Kyle Walker, isn't he?
Dylan Jabbit says, "I love your videos. Please notice me." You've been noticed.
You have been noticed, my friend.
Been noticed.
Everyone putting Bellerin in the comments. You may as well just leave the stream right now.
Maybe what in the championship? Maybe if they're there. The Danish Sedan says, "Would shipping out Alli and re-signing Eriksen be a good move for us?"
Sorry, is that shipping out Alli and bringing in Eriksen? Well, it's not possible because we need an extra space in the foreign quota.
But in theory.
In theory, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if Dele's not going to play, then yeah, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's a really odd one with the whole Dele situation. He just doesn't seem to be clicking at the moment, and whether he's not responding to Mourinho's man management style, or whether he's just not, or Mourinho's not impressed with what he's giving in training or what he's giving off the ball. If he's not giving enough for the team, there's no one's really sure what the problem is and what the message is. But definitely something seems wrong at the moment with the whole Dele situation. We know that for sure.
What other tweets we got here?
We Love Poch says, big up to you, lads. What a win. Do you think the days of counter-attacking style like Poch did, what a win. Do you think the days Jose will do better? I'm not sure what the question is. Do you think the days of counter-attacking style like Poch did, Jose will do better? I'm not sure what he means, because we didn't do a counter-attacking style under Poch.
I'm not sure what he means.
Maybe he's asking, will Jose do better than Poch?
Well, he's at a cup final, same cup final Poch did get to in his first season. Mm-hmm. So I think it all comes down to if he wins this Carabao Cup. If he wins it, then he's done better than Poch, hasn't he?
Yeah, I guess that's true. And also, apparently Jose has had a better first year in terms of first 38 games than any of our last, I think since AVB probably. AVB had a pretty good first 38 games, but apart from him.
But when you look at it, Poch was kind of starting from fresh. Jose didn't start from fresh. He's kind of picking up where Poch left off. Yeah. AVB, who did he take over from?
Harry Redknapp.
Exactly. So he was also picking up where Harry Redknapp left off. Redknapp kind of started from fresh as well. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at it like that as well. You can't just say, oh, it's a new manager, they're starting from fresh. AVB was picking up from Redknapp and Jose was picking up from Poch, and two very successful eras at Tottenham.
Yeah, but
in their own right.
But what the difference is, I would say, when AVB picked up the gauntlet from Redknapp, we were still fairly good.
Yeah,
we were a very good team, which wasn't out of form or anything. Although we'd had a slight dip at the end of the season, we were still pretty good form and had a pretty good team. Under when Mourinho took over, we'd fallen off a cliff.
It's true, but I still think that we had a good squad there on the 6 months after getting to a Champions League final. You know what I mean? The players were good. They just needed a pick-me-up kind of thing.
They were good, but we were getting battered by Brighton 3-0, annihilated by Brighton.
Yeah, we were, but I don't think that was the quality of the side. That was just everything coming together, the Champions League final, all coming to a head all at once kind of thing. And I think that the players just couldn't do it the Poch way anymore. That's what it came down to.
Agreed. What else do we have here? Tatenda says, yesterday Dyer lost the ball every 6 touches and Aurier lost the ball every 4 touches. Both didn't impress me and I still think they are replaceable, but Rodon showed me some of the most convincing defending I have seen in a long time. Let's talk about Joe Rodon.
Yeah, I was about to say, because Joe Rodon, for me, get those stats up first of all from Joe Rodon on Twitter. I think I might have retweeted it or liked it or something yesterday. But Joe Rodon yesterday, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Like, first on the pitch for so many stats, which we'll bring up in a second, like recoveries and what have you. But I was a tiny bit confused with the way Jose Mourinho was talking about him after the game. I mean,
Why?
He said he had a very good performance. Yeah, he did. But I felt that he was just a tad bit negative about him.
Why? What made you think he was negative?
You know, talking about it wasn't a perfect performance. And yeah, I know it wasn't a perfect performance. And talking about he needs to do better. But I thought...
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
I know it's good, but, you know, does it do good for a player's confidence like that?
Yeah, come on. Of course it does.
Should you not be talking about that kind of stuff behind closed doors, not like in the press?
You acting like he called him out. I
don't think he called him out, but I thought...
Here's the stat.
I don't know.
And get
I just got a tiny bit of a bad feeling about it.
I didn't at all. I liked what he says. I think it's important to keep a player grounded even when they have a good performance, especially a young player early in their career. Spurs in their second game. I think Joe Rodon did have a good game. He didn't do everything perfectly, but I think it's important that he keeps trying to improve, and he never gets too comfortable on the pitch, especially as a young player.
Yeah, but surely to the press you just be like, yeah, he had a great game.
He did,
and leave it at that instead of talking about the things he's done wrong. And then behind the scenes, you go to Joe Rodon and you tell him, this is what you did wrong, this is what you did wrong, let's improve it.
I don't know. I had no problem with that. I had no problem with what he was saying. I think Joe Rodon will take confidence that I'm sure he's telling him behind closed doors as well. You played well and you had a good game. And I'm sure he knows that. I don't think he sees it as negative at all. I think it's important that he keeps the play because if you come out and say, oh, he's great, he's so good, that puts more pressure on him. I feel. I think that puts more pressure. If you go out and say, look, he's a young player, he's going to make mistakes, he needs to make mistakes to improve as a young player, and that's how he's going to learn. I think that takes the pressure off him because when he makes a mistake, next time he plays and he makes a mistake, Mourinho can say, look, he's a young player, I knew he was going to make mistakes, I said it before, and I think it takes the pressure off him a bit that it's okay to make mistakes, and that I think that would help him rather than hinder him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, to be honest. You're probably right.
Here's the tweet. Yeah, here's the stats. Most recoveries, clearances, aerial duels won, and most interceptions. Really, really solid. And I thought,
the one that really stands out for me is most aerials won.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we needed after how many goals we've conceded from aerial duels, which has been awful, really, really bad. And look, he did really well for me yesterday. He really was a calming influence at the back as well. And actually, his passing, he wasn't afraid to do a forward pass into the attacking, a dangerous one as well. And obviously, if it doesn't come off for you, we criticise him. But a lot of the times it did come off for him, and it was actually really well. And it was a really important factor in how we attacked and how we created chances and played the ball into space. And actually, I was really impressed with that as well. So
did you hear?
It was a confident display from him.
Did you hear his post-match interview?
I did.
I thought that he was speaking really well, and he seemed like a very mature player, well beyond his years, to be fair. And I think he's going to be a big asset to us. I really do.
I as well. He's still young, 21. But the thing is, he's young, but he's not like 18. So he's like of the age where he can definitely be getting minutes and playing. Fofana's starting week in, week out for Leicester. He's 19, so he's a couple of years older than him. But obviously, even though he's not that young, he's still going to take a bit of time because he's never played Premier League football before. But I think what we've seen of him, he's been good, and I think we've got a player here on our hands who's has the capabilities of being a very special centre back for us if we can get his management right, and if we can develop him in the right way, we could have one of our best centre backs because he's got all the attributes. He's got so many good attributes that we need.
Let's have a look at. Let's talk about Toby Alderweireld, and you can put those stats up for Toby Alderweireld to see like kind of where he's playing at the moment, and you got to look at it, and you got to say that since the Leicester game, he's played one Premier League game, half a game against Marine, and I just want to know why. Really, do you get it?
You can see that, yeah, you can see on the screen. So ever since the Leicester game, he's only played 1.5 games. He's been on the bench, for the other few games. It's a difficult one, I guess. It was on the back of 2 defeats, as you can see. We've lost 2 games,
but played 90 minutes against Leeds, scored a goal, played well that day.
Pretty well, I thought, yeah. And then obviously Sanchez played against Fulham, and Sanchez played against Brentford, and then Rodon's come in against Sheffield United.
And then, you play Marine, he goes off at half-time, and you're thinking he's going off at half-time in view to play him the next game. He hasn't played the next 2 games.
It's I'm not 100% sure what the situation is with Toby. Maybe he feels like if we play him and Dyer together, we can't really push up because we're too exposed in behind for a runner in behind, like Vardy exposed us.
But Sheffield United don't have that runner.
They do with Burke and McGoldrick, 2 very quick players.
I guess.
Same with Fulham, Bobby Reed and Cavallero, 2 very quick players.
But still, Alderweireld.
Well, but then again, you would say the same with Leeds. That he played them against Leeds.
True.
Played them against Liverpool and played very well against Liverpool.
And we were talking about Toby and Dyer being a really, really good partnership at one stage this season.
Yeah, especially after the Arsenal game, they looked impenetrable. Like we were winning games with clean sheets all the time, and it was confident. But I'm not sure why he's leaving Toby out, because I think he's been one of our best defenders this season. But he's got his reasons, I'm guessing. and it'll be. I guess we'll see.
And the Toby ping is so much better than the Dyer ping.
That's definitely
it's
true.
It's another world. You know what I mean? It really
agree.
is.
Well, yeah, I think we need. Toby. I want to see Toby and Rodon. I want to see how they'll perform together.
I think we might see that partnership at Wickham. I really do.
I hope so. I wonder if Rodon's going to start against Liverpool. That's what I'm wondering.
Is there anything else to look at on Twitter?
Let me see. People tweeting us as well. Some guy tweeted us here. Results-wise, we should have 4 points better off by now. Newcastle, VAR, West Ham draw were just unlucky. And thing that doesn't happen, plus Lanzini's start 4 points to we are 4 points away from first. League Cup final, round of 32 in the Europa League. FA Cup, we're through to the fourth round. Best goal difference in the league. Refresh and back on a roller coaster ride. Positivity needed. I think overall we're not in a bad position. It's just
a shame.
It's just everyone knows how much better it could be and should be because of how we have the performances and the results we've gotten for our performances. So that's the most frustrating thing.
We're lucky as well.
But yeah, I think we're lucky and we're unlucky both at the same time. So I think we just got to keep with the positivity and see what we can do this season. But I think we could definitely be in for a good season for sure. No, there's no doubt in my mind we can be in for a good season.
I mean, we're already having a good season. Like you say, we're in every competition at this stage. How often at this stage are we still in every competition?
Let's look at this tweet, actually, because this is one player we haven't yet to talk about in the stream. And this is from the Spurs Express. It says, there are high hopes for Steven Bergwijn within the club. They know he has the goal-scoring ability and that it will come.
I 100% agree with that. Look, being you... We've backed Stevie from day one. We haven't stopped backing him, even though when some fans have been talking about his missings and whatever. And even in those games where he misses sitters, he provides good ability to the team. He provides good work to the team. He never stops running, never stops working. And, that through ball for Tanguy and Ndombele yesterday, you got to say, that is right out the top drawer. It really was.
Yeah, really lofted through ball. Scooped. Really good skill from Stevie, although he did make it difficult for Tanguy. But yeah, you got to say, if we can get him scoring and we can get him involved, then our attack is going to take it up a notch, because I think obviously Kane and Son are on another level, but they need help. You can see we're kind of getting every ounce of ability out of Kane and Son at the moment. And they do need help in the forwarding department in terms of getting the burden of goal scoring out of them. And if Bergwijn could really help in that sense, then we can really get taken up a notch. And I think it's only a matter of time before he does, because I think at the moment he's getting the positions. Before he was just helping the team. Now he's helping the team and getting the positions, but he can't get the finishing touch. Once he gets that finishing touch, I think we've got a really, really fearsome front three.
And I think people got to remember his age as well, because I don't think anyone kind of thinks about how old he actually is when they talk about, when they berate him and when they send him abuse and this kind of stuff. Because you know what I mean? He's a young player still finding his way in the Premier League. He's a brand new player to the Premier League last year. He hit the ground running, and that was probably overachieving for him, kind of thing. So I think you got to just pause a bit when you're talking about Stevie. You got to realise his actual strengths and that he puts a real big shift in for the team. He's got big qualities about him, and when he misses these chances, you got to say, all right, look, it's going to come. Bide your time with this guy.
As long as he keeps getting the chances, not being anonymous, like someone like Lucas Moura is a lot of the time. And, Lucas doesn't even get these chances. At least Bergwijn's getting the positions and he's asking questions of the defence and he's giving something. Also, one thing that's definitely not talked about enough is his movement, because so many goals you've seen this season from Kane and Son. If you look at how the goal is been manoeuvred and how Kane and Son are in space, not eight or nine times out of 10, it's because Bergwijn's made a run and he's drawn a defender out, and Son and Kane have vacated the space. Happens time and time again. It is not talked about enough, and Bergwijn's a big reason a lot of the time why you see in Kane and Son in all the space to get their goals. And he's a big reason for that.
I don't think it's a coincidence as well. It's definitely not a coincidence that we win more games with Bergwijn in the team than without him in the team.
And we just look better.
And we look better, exactly. We look so much more balanced up there when he's in the side.
Thoughts on this? Can we? I don't know if you can hear this little 10-second clip from Harry. I don't know if we can play it, but Harry Kane on Match of the Day yesterday talking. I don't know if you heard his interview. I don't know. Can you listen to it? Maybe you put your headphones in.
Oh yeah,
Maybe not. Huh? Should we listen to it?
Probably not. But you can tell him what they said.
He basically said. He was asked about Mourinho. If he asked to sit back, and if he asked to. He was asked what Mourinho tells him at half-time, and is he frustrated that the team sit back too much, and is that under instruction of Mourinho, or did he tells the players to attack? And he said Mourinho's never told us to defend like that, and he's never told us to defend that deep and not kill games off us. He said it's the players' fault that we haven't been doing it, and we have to take responsibility for that. And he's always told us to play attacking football and kill off games when we can, and when we give. And he's never told us to accept the domination from the opposition team. So he's saying that that's the players' fault.
Is it? Why do the players do it? Why?
Don't know.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
But you got to think of it this way, right? You got to think of it this way. In the first half, obviously we played really well. We were playing good attacking football. We're dominating
in general, or just
in general? In general, we play good attacking football, right? And we usually have a lead, usually by 1 goal in the first half. But in the second half, all I can think is. A lot of the times, obviously, we're playing Fulham, we're playing Newcastle, we're playing Sheffield United, for example, right? Yeah. Or Wolves. In the first half, we dominate the ball, but because I would say Newcastle, Fulham, blah, 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 their first priority is to keep it tight, look for a point, not concede too many goals or chances, and probably allow us possession of the ball. And then if they allow us possession of the ball, we're very good at, obviously, we've shown we're very good at creating chances. We're very good at doing all those kind of stuff, dominating the ball, and we look good. But in the second half, they're ahead, they're behind now, so they need to come out a bit, and they need to, the onus is on them to come out a bit, start getting a bit more on the ball and start creating chances. And because we're in the Premier League and we're playing against quality teams, if the opposition want to get on the ball more, they're going to find opportunities to get on the ball. They're going to find opportunities to have periods in game where they're dominating the ball and creating chances. And we need to accept that, but we need to not accept their domination of the ball, and we need to fight back against it. But maybe we're not that good at the moment at fighting back against the domination against other teams, and we need to be better at that.
Yeah,
maybe we're being good when teams are allowing us to have the ball, but when we ask questions ourselves and we need to wrestle back that domination, we're not reacting too well when the opposition changes their tactics to get more on the ball to get back in the game. That's how I'm seeing it, and I think you got to respect opposition teams, that they are good enough to maneuver the ball in a certain way that they're going to dominate the ball when they need a goal.
Yeah, but I agree with you. But the thing is, man for man, we're better than these teams by some way. As a team set up, we're better than these teams. So, I get that these things happen kind of in 5-10 minute spurts in games, but I think we let it happen way too often and way too much in games. I
agree with that.
And we shouldn't be letting it happing,
which is
with the quality and the team that we have. Yeah, I know. I'm just reiterating it. Kind of thing.
Which is what they're saying. Which is, and at least we have that an identifiable problem, which we know if we can solve, we're in a very, very strong position. And I think if you look at most games this season, despite the fact that we've dropped a lot of silly points, I would say, I can't think of a game where I've come out of it thinking we've been outplayed and we didn't, and there was no way we could have ever gotten anything out of that game, however hard we tried. And most times, apart from maybe the Leicester and Everton game, we've had the point in the palm of our hands and we've just thrown it away from a stupid individual mistake or a header or something like that. And at least in that position, we can see that if we can solve the problem, then we can put ourselves in a good situation. But I think for others, I've seen other teams in games where they've just been outplayed and they've just been beaten well. And I don't think, at least I haven't seen us in that kind of situation a lot of times this season, which is a positive.
I think the only games where you would say where we've deserved to lose is Leicester and Everton.
Yeah,
those are the only 2 games this season.
Zini Tiago says, would you rather play for Spurs or manage Spurs?
Ooh, I'd rather play for Spurs.
I think so too. I think I'd rather play for Spurs.
I mean, I would just love to score a goal in front of that Park Lane and just go jump into the fans. You know what I mean?
That's a dream. That's a dream of ours. The tweets seem to have dried up. Let's look at this actually tweet from who's this? Luca THFC.
Luka Modric.
He's actually he's responding to an Ariane tweet. Ariane says, we asked Ariane whose fault was it, Dyer or Davis?
Did he tweet us or in reply?
He says, the answer to your Dyer or Davis question from earlier, Dyer is 2 inches taller than McGoldrick. Davis is shorter than McGoldrick. Should Davis be doing better? Probably, but still, I'm pretty biased. And then Luca has responded with a tweet saying it's all on Davis with this picture. And in this picture, obviously, Fleck is lining up for a cross, as you can see.
Zoom into that.
I have zoomed in. Can you want me to zoom in more? Here we go. So Fleck is about to line up for the cross. There's Dyer, who doesn't really have anyone. Him and Rodon have that player there. I think that's Burke. And then Davis is on McGoldrick, and I think that's Reguilon on the far post. Yeah. So the problem here is Davis is ahead of McGoldrick right now. But by the time the ball comes in, McGoldrick gets a run on him. I think Davis isn't aware of the run that McGoldrick is getting. And despite the fact that Dyer did lose flight of the ball, Davis has still got to be staying ahead of McGoldrick and be aware that he's getting a run on him. And I don't think he is. And I think if he holds off McGoldrick, obviously that goal doesn't happen. But I think the awareness of Davis, he's looking at the ball. He doesn't know where McGoldrick is at this point, does he? He can't really see him. He's behind him. McGoldrick can see his back. And that's one thing that managers always say. You should never...
it's schoolboy stuff.
Yeah, players should never be able to see your number, your back or something like that. Yeah. So I think Davis has got to take responsibility. But then again, that is probably the weak. Always when he plays at centre back, that's always going to be the weakest element of his game because he's just not. He's quite a decent ball playing centre back, but he's not the most physically imposing one, is he? He's always going to be bullied, just like he was out in Antwerp, completely bullied. So that's always going to be something you're going to have to live with if you're going to play Davis in that position. Because that's always going to happen when he's a short. He's not the tallest of players.
Yeah, he's not blessed with height, is he?
Yeah, he's not the strongest either. So there you go.
I think look, we're running out of time here, but let's finish on. You got no more tweets, do you?
That's it. I think everyone's.
Let's finish off. Well, there's a big debate going on in the comments section, so let's wean in on that and say who is better, Lucas Moura or Eric Lamela?
Ooh. I think Lamela.
I would have said Lamela. I was going to say Lamela.
Yeah, I think Lamela because I think he just gets more involved and he makes a bigger influence on the game than Lucas does. Lucas, when he's playing well and he's dribbling past players and he's getting shots off and things like that. Obviously, I think he's better, but unfortunately, he does that 1 in 5-6 games, probably less.
Probably less.
So I think Lamela.
Gaffey's thought says Moura is a ghost, and
it's true.
To be honest,
he's been a ghost for 2 years now.
Since that hat-trick in Amsterdam. I mean, look...
It's a shame, but it's true.
I wouldn't be against selling Lucas Moura in the summer. There I go, I said it.
Yeah. I think he was a good squad player a couple of years ago, but even now, as a squad player, he's good in the Europa League, but whenever he comes in, he just doesn't make enough of an impact. He just doesn't. And especially, one thing I'm very disappointed in Lucas is when he comes off the bench, he hardly ever affects the game positively. He hardly, and especially when he comes off the bench, that should be his forte. Tiring legs, people to run at, exactly. Getting in behind. He has that pace in abundance, but he just doesn't do it. And that's the most frustrating thing.
We've got a super chat here from Mintu Lee. He says, what do you think about the no celebration rule? I think it's more for show. They share the same bus, training and dressing room.
It's completely for show. It's
Look,
not even a debate.
I completely agree with you. I think it's a bit of nonsense. It's just trying to make it look good, basically.
Yeah, because they're all being tested, aren't they? That's why they're playing. They're all, they share everything. They share a changing room, not jumping, It's ridiculous. As if they're going to catch the virus from jumping on the celebration.
They're training with each other every single day.
Marking players from corner. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Of course, it's all for show. It's you're not if you're not going to catch it during a goal celebration. You know what I mean? You're going to catch it at some point. So it's all just for show for the people in at home, and I think the people at home are smarter than that. They know this is all ridiculous. So I think it's all a bit of a nonsense, to be honest. I think the directive from the Premier League is just a bit stupid, and I think criticising teams or players for celebrating goals because it doesn't look good is just a bit of a nonsense to me.
I agree. All right, so I think we'll call it.
Let's just be one more tweet. This is from the Spurs Express.
Squeeze it out. As
we're here, Tottenham are one of a number of clubs who have registered interest in Manchester United midfielder Jesse Lingard. from Rob Dawson of ESPN. I don't know what tier he is, but I really hope more than anything that this just isn't true. I really hope it's not true, because imagine we replace Dele with Lingard. That couldn't be any worse. That could not be. Well, saying that, Lingard was at his best under Jose.
Don't care. Don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah, no, please no.
At one stage, the United fans, when Jose was there, were calling him Messi Lingard at some stage, weren't they?
Messi Lingard. Oh, man, they were so wrong about him. But, that's I guess on a down, I'll leave you down. All
right, we're going to leave it there. But look, thank you everyone for joining us this morning. We'll be back for the next morning after show after the Liverpool game, which is on Thursday week. But check out for our content coming out later today. We'll be bringing out player ratings and the 5 takeaways from the game yesterday. So like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs!